This 1 Degree Outside video is brought to you by Attitash Mountain Village. Book your stay directly through the link on our homepage, 1degreeoutside.com. Wednesday Insights here at 1 Degree Outside. Weather Network meteorologist Matt Noyes. We're going to talk about a lot coming up here for the next several days. We're going to talk about the knowns and unknowns. Thursday night, we've got some snow showers. You might be surprised by who gets the most out of that. And although the snow chances definitely are increasing now in the second half of the month, and you knew that was coming from our pattern predictions video, from our monthly forecast video, the question is how much of that translates to actual snow that falls in New England. So we'll look at some of the unknowns with that, and that comes into play as soon as Sunday night and Monday. And a new shot of cold does recharge for next week. So if you're a winter lover, there's plenty of that left, and we're going to look at that in the 14-day coming up in just a couple of moments as well. Okay, meanwhile, if you missed the announcement yesterday, look, we've been providing forecasts to the city of Worcester over the past few months. Danielle's been doing it over the past few years, but we were so proud to announce yesterday that 1 Degree Outside has partnered with the city of Worcester's Emergency Communications and Management Department. That is Commissioner Charles Goodwin that you see there, and we are working together hand in hand. We're kind of taking the private forecast model and turning it on its head. What you see here is the public product. What we do behind the scenes for our private and customized forecast is working as teammates and delivering exclusive insights in a way that nobody else is doing it. So we're excited to have Worcester on board. If you'd like to learn more about this partnership or our custom forecast course, 1degreeoutside.com. Okay, so the weather discussion we go, the white, the green, that represents energetic disturbances that are picking up moisture in the atmosphere, dropping to the south and east. That is the Thursday night disturbance we'll be watching. You can trace it with atmospheric energy as well, where the yellows, the oranges, the reds represent the energy dropping down through the Great Lakes and into the Northeast by the time we get to Thursday evening. But wait a minute. You look at that and say, most of that energy is down to the south. You're right. What we get is just kind of disorganized energy that briefly comes through overnight Thursday night and is gone by Friday morning. Guess what? That's the forecast in the snow showers, too. Disorganized ones that come through overnight Thursday night, gone by Friday morning. I think it's interesting that as we get into Saturday, we start to turn the winds out of the southwest. So even at 18,000 feet, you're pumping in warmth, which is why Saturday, whatever falls, will be probably fairly light. It'll come later in the day, but it will accumulate in northern New England as snow. It'll be mostly raindrops in central and southern New England. Then things get interesting because Sunday, there is a general break in the action. There's no energy directly overhead, but down to the south and west, there's a round of energy that's going to be coming in our direction, and you've got a cold front at the surface coming through on Sunday. Question really just becomes where that front is going to settle, because if it settles just south of New England and that energy can glob onto it, then what you're looking at is storm development with accumulating snow Sunday night and Monday. A lot of things have to go right. Right now is about a 30% chance that happens, which is not negligible for that far out. So that's what we're going to be watching. Just so you know, Santa Ana winds for this week are peaking today. Ventura County, most under the gun out there. In terms of how things develop that impact us here at home, you have the northern stream disturbance, a warm front that comes in tomorrow, the Thursday night snow showers that we'll look at here in just one moment, a little bit closer. You get a general break on Friday, and into Saturday, we look at the next storm developing, grabbing a lot of Gulf of Mexico moisture, but also transporting that warmth northward, which is why, for many of us, it's going to end up being raindrops. Not all. We'll look at that in a second. High temperatures definitely moderating in the coming days. This is tomorrow. Watch how the cold eases in the eastern United States by Friday. But again, if you're a winter lover, what you're paying attention to is by Saturday, brand new cold air is going to be coming in across the northern plains. In fact, you're talking about high temperatures Saturday only running in the single digits above and below zero in the northern plains. So that's why I say, look, it'll be here by the time you get to the middle of next week. In terms of the kind of shorter range and looking at the Thursday evening stuff, Thursday during the day, not much happening. Variable clouds, the wind lighter than today. Today's gusts are about 35 miles per hour. Tomorrow's will not be that. Better day for winter sports, actually good day for winter sports on Thursday. Notice by Thursday evening, snow showers coming out of New York and Pennsylvania into western New England by 7, by about 11:30. They've spread in for many of us, but they're light, they're disorganized. The storm center is developing down to the south. This storm center is so weak that we actually never really even turn an easterly wind here at home. It continues to be a westerly or west-southwesterly wind. Do you know why that's important? And this plays into who gets the most? Because you're going to enhance the snow off the ocean on the Cape and the islands and maybe around New Bedford as well. Isn't that interesting? Thursday night, you may get the most snow. We'll look at that in a second with the accumulation amounts. By Friday morning, it's gone. As we looked at with the Energy Center, it slides right on by and it's out of here. Then you get a break that lasts through much of Friday. into Saturday, moderating temperatures. You can see where the snow is ready to come down in New York State during the day Saturday. Well, that will translate to accumulating snow in much of ski country on Saturday night, but raindrops in a lot of the southern half of New England. There's that break in the action on Sunday, the way it looks now. But here's the surface cold front that I was talking about. So that settles through on Sunday, goes just to our south. And the question is, does the next round of energy, when it ripples along that front, act quickly enough to develop another storm center? And if so, that would give us accumulating snow Sunday night and a Monday. And again, about a 30% chance is an early call on that, but we'll see how things stack up and we'll keep you posted. Also, we'll get a live stream going on that. I'll talk about that in a moment. But nonetheless, you can see that the total amount of snow Thursday night, it's like a coating. When I say a coating, in this case, it's probably 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch. But notice there's also some holes that show up in here. So as we get closer to it, we'll be able to fine tune exactly where those holes are going to be. And this is what I was mentioning with a little bit of enhancement that happens when you get down to the South Coast, the Cape, the island. So actually, Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket could do best out of everybody, get the best chance of a solid inch. But we'll see how it stacks up. That's it's just at least the setup and the atmosphere that favors you. Again, in terms of that live stream that we'll get going over the next couple of days, because we promised pre-storm live streams, but that also includes, well, we're not exactly sure how big a storm's going to be, right? So inside track members and above will get access to that. I will announce that through Patreon over the course of the coming days so we can get that scheduled, and I'll be there together and kind of talk about how things are going to shake out. All right, in terms of the forecast, just the next few days, and again, I got the 14-day in a moment, but you've got high temperatures tomorrow coming to about 30. The wind is lighter, so as a result, the wind chill is not that big of a deal tomorrow, at least in the 20s. Thursday night, you drop down to the teens. We talked about moderation in temperature. By the time we get to Friday, we're up into the 30s. By the time we get into Saturday, we're up into the 40s. And this is the reason why when the next round arrives, Saturday evening, Saturday night, it will be rain in the southern half of New England versus snow in the northern half of New England. By Sunday, it should be that break in the action. You'll find the clouds parting for some breaks of sun at times, the way it looks right now anyway. Temperature's still running about 40, but notice the wind coming out of the northwest. So we brought the cold front through, and that kind of serves as that real key point as to what's going to happen Sunday night and a Monday. So you're going to see reflected here exactly what I just told you. So when you look at the Sunday night, Monday time frame, you see, remember I told you about a 30% chance that we find that spreading in. For those of you that want to know how we do it, it actually is very objective. And what I mean by that is based on data. So what we're doing is looking at over 120 different possible solutions and saying, okay, what percent of those produces accumulating snow Sunday night, Monday? Right now, 30% of them. But if you know anything about statistics, anything pretty much 10% and above, you got to at least continue to watch, right? Here's that cold that comes in as we get out toward the middle of next week, and you'll see that continuing toward the end of next week, and then you get back and having the disturbances close by again as you get later on in the 14-day period. So just a reminder, you can always get the 14-day for your neighborhood by grabbing our free app, Noyes' 1 degree outside weather, on the App Store and Google Play. That's how things look for now. We will continue to keep you posted, of course, and look forward to seeing you always with updates at 1degreeoutside.com. and right atop the home screen of our app.